The story begins with a group of soldiers arriving at a remote location. They've been sent to deliver a set of car batteries to another unit. The batteries are for another unit stationed there. After unloading the equipment, they begin preparing for an assignment, though the details of the mission remain unclear to them. While at it, one of the soldiers known as 81 does something. He spends some time joking with his younger brother. His younger brother also serves in the military. The two share a light-hearted moment before talking. They talk about their future in the army. Soon after, 81 heads over to check on their vehicle's engine. They continue chatting while he works. During their conversation, the younger brother talks about something. He talks about wanting to be on the real battlefield. He wants to become an Army Ranger, just like they used to dream about when they first joined. 81, however, admits that he no longer feels the same way. He isn't sure he wants to pursue that path anymore. After some persistence from his brother, 81 eventually gives in. He agrees that they'll chase that goal together. But before anything else can happen, disaster suddenly strikes. Without warning, a late incoming airstrike hits the area. It catches the soldiers completely off guard. The strike wipes out most of the unit in seconds. 81 is also caught in the blast. He loses consciousness from the impact. When he finally wakes up, the area is silent. The area is filled with destruction. As he looks around, he realizes that nearly everyone has been killed. Among the wounded is his brother, barely holding on. The story then shifts to 2 years later. Now it's set at a ranger training facility in Colorado. At the base, a group of candidates suddenly receive an urgent order. They're instructed to move quickly to the induction hall. Once everyone gathers inside, the recruits are each handed something. They're each handed a small Ziploc bag. They're told to place their paperwork, rank tag, and personal belongings. From that moment on, their identities are stripped down. Their identities are replaced with assigned numbers. During this process, our candidate is chosen. He's chosen to serve as the team leader. Shortly afterward, the instructors lay out what lies ahead. The candidates are about to begin an 8-week selection course. It's widely considered one of the toughest military training programs anywhere. Throughout the process, their physical endurance will be tested. Their mental toughness will be pushed far beyond limits. Their emotional resilience will also be tested. The instructors explain that only those who survive will move on. They'll move on to the final stage. The final stage is a brutal 24-hour simulated operation. It's known as the Death March. Completing that mission and reaching the finish line means something. It means earning the right to wear the Ranger Scroll. It also means earning the Tan Beret. They'll become part of one of the most respected regiments. One of the most respected regiments in the United States Army. As the training progresses, the program quickly proves just how intense it is. Candidates are forced through exhausting drills. They face relentless challenges day after day. Among them, 81 is shown pushing himself harder than most. He refuses to slow down even when the strain becomes overwhelming. But as the days go by, the pressure begins to take its toll. One by one, many of the trainees are unable to keep up. They are dismissed from the program. This leaves only the toughest participants still standing. One evening, a few of the trainees begin talking about 81. They quietly discuss the tragedy involving his younger brother. While they're having this conversation, their attention is suddenly pulled. Their attention is pulled toward a television broadcast nearby. The news report reveals that scientists have detected something. They've detected a mysterious object heading toward Earth, something they believe may have come from outside the solar system. Despite the strange report, life at the training base continues as normal. The intense program pushes forward. The recruits stick to their demanding schedule. During one lunch break, the topic of 81's brother comes up again. One of the soldiers eventually decides to ask him directly about it. Later that night, while 81 is taking medication, something happens. One of his roommates notices him and becomes curious. The following morning, the two briefly talk about it. Then they quickly return to their daily training routine. As the selection process drags on, the pressure keeps building. More and more candidates are unable to continue. They are dismissed from the course. This leaves only a smaller group of determined trainees behind. During one of the training days, 81 begins experiencing something. He experiences disturbing memories of the past. For a brief moment, it seems real, but it turns out he had only been reliving it in a nightmare. Another day of grueling exercises begins. 81 continues forcing himself to endure the pain and exhaustion. While pushing through one of the drills, he suddenly remembers something. He remembers the moment he tried to carry his younger brother to safety. This was after the attack. The memory overwhelms him completely. During the exercise, 81 collapses. He loses consciousness in the water. Thankfully, the instructors quickly pull him out. They pull him out before things get worse. However, the incident doesn't go unnoticed. One of the commanding officers observes everything. He begins to question whether 81 is mentally fit to continue. In their eyes, he might now be a risk to the team. Not long after, 81 is summoned to an office meeting. Inside, Sergeant Torres and another superior officer deliver their decision. Based on what they've seen, they recommend that he withdraw. He should withdraw from the course immediately. According to them, his time in the program is officially over. 81 doesn't accept the decision easily. When he starts arguing, the officers firmly order him to sit back down. He quickly defends himself with an important point. He points out that he hasn't failed a single training event so far. The instructors acknowledge that his physical ability isn't the problem. In fact, they say his performance is one of the strongest they've seen. What worries them instead is his mental state. According to their records, he hasn't been sleeping properly. Feedback from other candidates suggests he keeps his distance from the rest of the team. They also remind him that after the tragedy involving his brother, he should have done something. He was supposed to attend at least 2 therapy sessions for evaluation. Instead, the records show that the very morning he was discharged, he applied. He immediately applied for the RAS selection program. Since then, he's continued submitting applications again and again. When asked why he's so determined, 81 gives a simple answer. He just wants to reach the finish line. The officers respond by telling him that what he's facing now isn't the finish line. It's only the beginning. They admit he's one of the most promising candidates they've seen. But they warn him that if they formally remove him from the program, something will happen. He may never get another chance to apply. Because of that, they suggest he step away voluntarily. He should return when he's truly ready. All he needs to do is sign a form. The form confirms he's quitting on his own terms. But 81 refuses to sign it. The following day, the instructors begin calling out a list of numbers. 81 hears his number among them. This seems to mean he's being dismissed. However, an unexpected twist follows. Those whose numbers were called are told to step forward. Instead of leaving, they're informed that they're the ones staying with that surprise announcement. The remaining candidates learn something. They've reached the final phase of training to become Army Rangers. Soon after, they receive the details of their final simulated mission. The exercise involves a recon and rescue operation. 2 Black Hawk helicopters will insert them into a drop zone. The drop zone is deep inside enemy territory. From there, they must navigate through hostile ground. They must locate a crashed aircraft and destroy it. This is so it can't fall into enemy hands. Their second objective is to find a nearby rebel village. The pilot from the downed aircraft is reportedly being held prisoner there. For the simulation, their rifles are fitted with blank firing adapters. They're instructed that no live fire is allowed. Leading the team for this mission will be none other than 81. With the stage finally set, the intense final exercise officially begins. It's often referred to as the Death March. As the candidates move out to start the operation, something happens. One of the supervising officers watches them closely. He watches with a suspicious look that suggests he might have something else planned. Not long after, the team finally reaches the drop zone. This is where they were inserted. Once on the ground, they quickly regroup. They begin mapping out their movements. With the clock already ticking, they realize they have limited time. They have 23 hours and 30 minutes left to complete the mission. The squad pushes deeper into the forest. They carefully move through the thick wilderness. When night eventually falls, they locate a temporary spot to rest. While the others try to recover their strength, 81 and another teammate stay awake. They stay awake to keep watch over the camp. Their brief moment of calm doesn't last long. In the distance, the sudden sound of artillery fire shakes the area. It jolts everyone awake and puts the team back on edge. By morning, they manage to reach the location. This is where the crashed aircraft is believed to be. Following protocol, they attempt to contact base. They want to report their progress and request further instructions. Unfortunately, their communications equipment fails to pick up a clear signal. Instead of a response, all they hear is strange interference. The interference is cutting through the radio. With no way to reach command, the team decides to continue. They'll continue the mission based on their last known orders. The soldiers quietly spread out and take their positions. They're waiting for any sign of activity. But the area remains completely still. Just when it seems like nothing is there, 81 notices something unusual in the distance. He signals the others to move ahead with a plan. The plan is to destroy the crashed aircraft while he goes to investigate. He investigates the strange sight on his own. As he gets closer, he realizes something is seriously wrong. Whatever he's seeing clearly wasn't part of the training scenario. Realizing the danger, 81 quickly tries to stop his team. He tries to stop them from blowing up the aircraft, but by the time he reacts, it's already too late. The explosion goes off. Moments later, the ground begins to tremble. What they believed was just wreckage suddenly reveals itself. It reveals itself to be something far more terrifying. A massive hidden spacecraft awakens, towering above them. Strange lights sweep across the area. It's as if the structure is scanning everything around it. Within seconds, the situation turns into chaos. A mysterious war machine emerges. It begins attacking the soldiers. The team scatters, running through the forest in panic. They try to escape the overwhelming threat. Their desperate retreat eventually leads them to the edge of a steep cliff. While they struggle to figure out their next move, another powerful strike hits. It hits the area with devastating force. The blast knocks the soldiers off balance. It sends them plunging over the cliff edge. For many of them, the fall proves fatal. After the fall, the few soldiers who are still able to move act immediately. They begin helping the others who are badly injured. While they try to regroup, 81 decides to climb back up. He climbs up the cliff to retrieve the communication radio. He hopes to contact their base. Moving carefully through the area, he eventually finds the soldier who had been carrying the communications equipment. Sadly, the device is already destroyed and completely unusable. Before he can think of another solution, the massive war machine returns. It suddenly returns, sweeping through the crash site. It finishes off anyone who might still be alive. Realizing the danger, 81 quickly retreats. He makes his way back to the others. Meanwhile, one of the soldiers, 57, sadly dies. He dies after losing too much blood from his injuries. He warns them that the machine appears to be tracking them, possibly by scanning their identities or biological signatures. They need to move immediately. The remaining soldiers begin relocating as quickly as they can. One of 81's roommates is badly injured, so another teammate helps carry him. But before they can get far, the war machine shows up again. In a brutal moment, the soldier assisting the injured man is eliminated. The machine begins scanning the area. It's searching for the rest of the squad. The survivors are eventually detected. This forces them into a desperate fight just to stay alive. After managing to escape for the moment, the exhausted group finally finds a temporary place to stop. There, they do their best to treat the wounded. Unfortunately, the fall earlier destroyed most of their morphine supplies. This means they have to treat serious injuries without any real pain relief. Once they finish patching everyone up as best they can, the group pushes forward again. They're hoping to reach safer ground. Their path eventually leads them to a freezing waterfall. It's blocking the route. Determined to keep the team moving, 81 volunteers to cross first, even though the water is dangerously cold. Fighting through the icy current, he manages to reach the other side. He secures a rope so the rest of the team can follow. But time is running out. The war machine continues closing in on their location. As the others begin crossing, the injured soldier they've been carrying gets stuck. He gets stuck halfway across. Without hesitation, 81 heads back to help him. He's risking his own safety once again. They manage to pull the soldier through safely. But the relief doesn't last long. Moments later, the relentless machine catches up with them again. It launches another devastating attack. During the chaos near the waterfall, 81 suddenly gets trapped underwater. He's tangled in the rope they were using to cross. Realizing he could drown, he quickly cuts himself free. He intentionally draws the war machine's attention toward him. He's hoping to give the others a chance to escape. After a tense struggle, the group is eventually forced through. They're forced through the other side of the waterfall. Once they regroup, they come across one of their senior officers. He seems relieved to see that at least some of them made it out alive. With no time to waste, the survivors continue moving deeper into the forest. Before long, they reach the village. The village was supposed to be part of their rescue objective, but instead of finding allies or the captured pilot, they're met with a grim sight. The entire camp has been wiped out. While they're trying to understand what happened, they suddenly hear a sound nearby. When they investigate, they discover the sergeant, but he is already dying from his injuries. The shocking discovery leaves the team struggling to process the situation. Seeing the danger they're in, 81 urges everyone to leave immediately, but tensions begin to rise within the group. This leads to a heated argument. During the confrontation, 81 finally opens up about the truth behind his brother's death. He admits that he never felt like a hero. This is because he collapsed just 18 kilometers from the perimeter. He was unable to finish the rescue. Despite the emotional moment, the team quickly gets back to work. They prepare their vehicle to escape the area. As soon as the vehicle is ready, they begin moving out. Suddenly, another strike hits the area. This time it lands farther away, but the explosion is enough to remind them that the threat is still very real. Knowing they could be attacked at any moment, the soldiers waste no time. Unfortunately, their escape doesn't go unnoticed. The war machine spots them. During the chaos, 15 is killed. He's killed while trying to deliver extra ammunition to the others. What follows is a brutal fight for survival. The machine unleashes everything it has. Eventually, it manages to disable their vehicle. This forces them off their planned route. A dangerous, high-speed chase begins. Several soldiers suffer serious injuries along the way. In the middle of the chaos, 7 is thrown from the vehicle. Moments later, the vehicle finally crashes. After a short while, 81 regains consciousness. When he looks around, the situation is devastating. Most of his teammates appear to be dead. Determined to understand what happened, He searches the area. He finds only a damaged piece of the machine. Then he hears something strange in the distance. Looking toward the sound, he realizes the war machine is still active. It appears to be transmitting a signal toward outer space, as if calling for something. To his surprise, Seven is actually still alive. He's barely holding on. At that moment, another scanning pulse sweeps through the area. Knowing they could be detected at any moment, 81 drags the injured soldier away. He's desperately trying to find somewhere safe to hide. After pushing forward for a while, the two are forced to stop and rest. The war machine continues sweeping the area with its scanning system. While watching from a distance, they suddenly notice something unusual. The machine periodically releases bursts of heat and steam, almost like it's venting energy. Seeing this pattern gives 81 an idea. Acting quickly, he moves toward a nearby construction site. He decides to lure the machine there before it can detect Seven's location. 81 begins setting up his risky plan. He deliberately makes enough noise to attract the machine's attention. He successfully draws it away from his injured teammate. Moments later, the towering machine arrives. It begins scanning the construction area, searching for its target. What it doesn't realize is that the entire place has been turned into a trap. As it moves forward, the machine unknowingly steps over construction explosives. The explosives are hidden around the site. At that exact moment, 81 suddenly appears. He's driving a heavy tractor and using it to push the machine into position. 81 keeps pressing the attack. He forces the machine into the explosives and causes significant damage. The system begins overheating. Sparks and flames erupt from its structure. Finally, the pressure becomes too much. The machine detonates in a massive explosion. But even in its final moments, the machine triggers one last defense mechanism. As 81 approaches the wreckage, it releases them into the flames in an attempt to destroy everything nearby. Realizing the danger, 81 turns and runs as fast as he can. But the final blast still catches him in the shockwave. Despite the explosion, 81 somehow survives. Still refusing to give up, he lifts his injured teammate. He carries him toward the final checkpoint. He's determined to reach the finish line, no matter what. Soon after, the sergeant arrives and greets him. He recognizes what 81 just accomplished. As medics begin treating his injuries, news reports start revealing a terrifying update. More of these war machines have been detected. Humanity still has no clear way to stop them. The sergeant later approaches 81. He asks him to explain exactly how he managed to destroy one of the machines. After hearing the details, they acknowledge his achievement. With that, 81 is officially recognized as a ranger. Not long after, he's invited to address a new group of recruits. He shares a few words from his experience. Once the speech is over, the team quickly prepares to head out again, this time for a real rescue operation. The movie then comes to an end. If you enjoyed it, kindly like and subscribe to this channel to keep us motivated. Thanks for watching.